Some of the ready meals sold in UK supermarkets are closer to chemical constructions than home cooking. They are engineered to look and taste like food, but when you break down what is actually inside them, that word becomes questionable. We analysed 12 of the most common ready meals sold across the UK. More than half were loaded with extreme levels of salt. 1 in 5 triggered 3 red warning labels at once, and in some cases, the chicken barely qualifies as chicken at all. Once you see what is inside the cheapest meals on the shelf, the entire ready meal aisle starts to look different. 12. Budget pasta ready meals. Walk down any supermarket aisle and you will find them. Pasta bakes, macaroni cheese, spaghetti bolognese. They sit there looking like comfort food, priced so low you almost feel guilty not grabbing one. But this is where the deception begins. These meals are not built around real ingredients. They are built around a cheap industrial formula designed to fill you up temporarily while costing the manufacturer almost nothing. Look at the ingredient list and you will see overcooked pasta bulked with refined starch, vegetable oils that should not be near Italian food, and flavour enhancers doing the work that actual tomatoes and herbs used to do. The meat content often sits below 15%. The cheese is barely present. Vegetables are reduced to flecks of colour rather than genuine portions. And here is why it matters. These meals spike your blood sugar rapidly because they are built on refined carbohydrates with almost no fibre. A recent analysis of over 1,500 ready meals found that 71% were low in fibre. That explains why you finish one of these trays and feel hungry again within 2 hours. Your body got calories but almost nothing it could actually use. The worst part is that millions of families buy these every week, believing they are providing a proper meal. They are providing a chemical simulation of food designed for profit margins and shelf stability, not for the people eating it. But the deception does not stop at budget pasta. The next category markets itself as the healthy alternative. 11. Healthy low-calorie bowls. These are the ready meals with green labels, calorie counts proudly displayed, and words like balanced, light, and guilt-free plastered across the packaging. They sit in their own section of the chilled aisle, separated from regular meals, as if they belong to a higher category. But once you look past the marketing, you will find something far less impressive. Many of these so-called healthy bowls achieve their low-calorie counts not through quality ingredients, but through volume manipulation. The portions are smaller, the protein is minimal, the base is often refined grains swimming in sweetened sauces. Action on Salt surveyed over 1,500 ready meals and found that even meals marketed as healthier options frequently scored amber for salt content. You save on calories but pay in sodium. The protein problem is particularly telling. A standard low-calorie bowl might contain as little as 10 grams of protein per serving. That is not a meal. That is a snack dressed up in meal packaging. Without adequate protein, you are left unsatisfied, reaching for something else within hours. Then there are the stabilizers, the emulsifiers, the modified starches that give these meals their smooth texture. These are ultra-processed formulations, wearing wellness branding. A UK Biobank study found that diets high in ultra-processed foods were associated with higher risks of chronic disease, regardless of whether those foods were marketed as healthy. The packaging tells you one story. The ingredient list tells another entirely. And if you think switching to chicken and rice solves the problem, wait until you see what is really in those trays. 10. Chicken and rice microwave trays. Chicken and rice. It sounds simple. It sounds safe. It sounds like exactly what you would make at home if you had the time. That is precisely why these meals sell so well. They trade on the perception of simplicity while hiding a far more complicated reality. Start with the chicken. In many supermarket ready meals, the chicken is not a whole cut. It is reformed meat, pieces pressed together with binding agents, injected with brines containing salt, phosphates, and water to increase weight. A 2024 sampling program by the Food Standards Agency found that 23% of chicken ready meals contained less meat than the label declared. The rice tells a similar story. Instead of plain cooked grains, you get rice bulked with vegetable oils and preservatives to extend shelf life and maintain that artificially moist texture after microwaving. Real rice goes dry when reheated. Industrial rice stays soft because it has been engineered to do so. And then there is the sauce, often the vehicle for hidden sugars and sodium. 1 high protein. Ready meal review found that a single portion contained over 20 grams of sugar. The sweetness is deliberate. It makes bland ingredients taste acceptable. This is the trick. They take what looks like a wholesome meal and rebuild it using texture technology, brine injections, and flavour systems that mask the absence of real cooking. You think you are eating clean, you are eating illusion. Because if even the clean meals are built this way, The comfort food category is where it gets extreme. 9. Cream-based ready meals. Lasagna, carbonara, creamy chicken bake. These are the comfort foods people reach for when they want something rich and satisfying. But what you get from a supermarket ready meal version is often a masterclass in manufactured indulgence that your body pays for long after the meal is finished. These meals contain some of the highest saturated fat loads in the entire chilled aisle. Analysis of UK supermarket ready meals found that luxury and cream-based options consistently scored red for fat and saturated fat under front of pack labelling guidelines. 1 in 5 ready meals surveyed qualified for 3 red warning labels simultaneously. These creamy trays are leading that statistic. But here is where it gets deceptive. Much of that creaminess is not actually cream. It is reconstituted dairy blended with vegetable oils, emulsifiers, and stabilizers to create a texture that mimics richness without the cost of genuine dairy fat. Modified starches thicken the sauce. Flavor enhancers compensate for the taste that real cooking would provide. You are eating a chemical impression of comfort food. The calorie density is staggering. A single portion can deliver over 600 calories, yet leave you nutritionally hollow because those calories come from fat and refined carbohydrates rather than protein or fiber. Your brain registers fullness temporarily. Your body does not get what it needs. And then there is the salt. Cream-based meals often exceed the government's maximum salt targets, pushing your daily intake dangerously high from just one sitting. If you think international style meals offer an escape from this, the next category will change your mind. 8. International style. Ready meals. Curries, stir-fries, Thai green bowls, Mexican wraps, and street food-inspired trays. These products line entire sections of the chilled aisle, promising authentic global flavors in under 5 minutes. The branding is vibrant. The photography shows heaps of vegetables and glistening protein, but the contents rarely match the cover. The fundamental problem is that genuine international cooking relies on fresh ingredients, layered spices, and proper technique. Factory production relies on sweetened sauces, thickeners, and salt to create bold flavors cheaply. A typical supermarket curry can contain more sugar than you would expect in a dessert. The sweetness masks the absence of complexity. Vegetable content is another quiet scandal. Those product shots showing abundant peppers, onions, and greens translate to a few scattered pieces in the actual tray. The bulk is rice, noodles, or cheap protein stretched with sauce. One investigation found that many international style meals contain less than 1 of your 5 a day, despite imagery suggesting vegetable abundance. Salt remains the constant. Analysis shows that Chinese and Indian-style ready meals often rank among the highest sodium categories in the entire supermarket. A single portion can deliver half your daily limit before you have even added soy sauce or accompaniments. The world food branding is intentional. It signals adventure and authenticity to distract from the reality of industrial production. You are not eating Thai street food. You are eating a factory interpretation of what Thai street food might taste like if it were rebuilt using stabilizers and sugar. But the next category takes the deception in a different direction entirely, targeting people actively trying to improve their health. 7. Ready meals, labeled high protein. These meals are marketed directly at gym goers, athletes, and anyone trying to build muscle or lose fat. The packaging shows fit bodies. The numbers are bold: 30 grams of protein, 40 grams of protein. The message is clear. This is fuel for performance. But dig beneath the marketing, and the quality of that protein becomes deeply questionable. Many high-protein ready meals achieve their impressive numbers not through quality cuts of meat or fish, but through processed protein sources. Soy isolates, textured vegetable protein, and restructured meat products allow manufacturers to hit macro targets without the cost of whole food ingredients. The protein exists on paper, but your body may not absorb or use it the same way. Then there is what surrounds that protein. One review of supermarket high-protein meals found sugar content exceeding 20 grams per portion in some products. The barbecue, sauces, the marinades, the flavouring systems all add sweetness that contradicts the fitness branding entirely. You are eating what amounts to a sugary meal with protein added. Reformulation is another hidden issue. Brands have been caught reducing meat content while maintaining protein claims, shifting to cheaper sauces or bulking with fillers. The numbers on the front stay the same, the quality inside declines, and the additives remain constant. Emulsifiers to maintain texture, stabilizers for shelf life, flavor enhancers to compensate for industrial processing. This is ultra-processed food wearing gym clothes. For fitness-conscious consumers, these meals promise a shortcut. What they deliver is processed convenience dressed in performance language. And if adults are being misled this way, consider what is happening to the meals designed for children. 6. Kids and family ready meals. Chicken nuggets, smiley face potatoes, mini pasta bakes, fish fingers. These products fill the frozen aisle, decorated with cartoon characters and bright colours, positioned at child eye level and priced for repeat buying. They are designed not to nourish children, but to be eaten without resistance. Research from University College London found that ultra-processed foods account for nearly half the calories consumed by UK toddlers. By age 7, children who ate the most ultra-processed food as toddlers were over 9 times more likely to remain high consumers. These eating patterns are being set before children can even read the ingredients. The nutritional reality is stark. A study comparing foods marketed to children with equivalent adult products found that children's versions were often higher in fat, sugar, and salt per 100 grams. The very products positioned as suitable for young people were nutritionally worse than options marketed to adults. Salt is a particular concern. Government data shows that 76% of children aged 1 to 4 exceed the recommended daily salt intake. Ready meals marketed to families contribute directly to this. A single child-sized portion can contain a significant percentage of a young child's maximum daily allowance. The texture engineering is deliberate. These meals are soft, mild, and designed to require minimal chewing. They train children to expect food that offers no resistance, no varied texture, no challenge. Real vegetables, whole grains, and unprocessed protein require effort. These products teach children to avoid that effort entirely. This is conditioning, not feeding. And the next category proves that avoiding meat does not automatically mean avoiding the problem. 5. Plant-based ready meals. The assumption is understandable. Plant-based must mean healthier. No meat, no problem. But the supermarket plant-based aisle tells a completely different story. One where ultra-processing has simply swapped animal ingredients for industrial plant formulations that are just as far from real food. A UK Biobank analysis found that vegetarians actually consumed more ultra-processed foods than people eating modest amounts of meat or fish. The gap was driven largely by plant-based alternatives and ready meals built on refined starches, seed oils, and flavour systems rather than whole plant ingredients. Look at the ingredient list on a plant-based ready meal, and you will often find soy protein, isolate, methyl cellulose, modified starches, and a cocktail of emulsifiers designed to create textures that mimic meat or dairy. These are industrial constructions. The pea protein was never a pea in any recognizable sense. It was extracted, processed, and reformed. Sodium levels remain high. Plant-based meals rely heavily on salt and flavor enhancers to compensate for the taste complexity that whole foods would provide naturally. Sugar content can also spike, particularly in meals with sweet glazes or Asian-inspired sauces. Research from The Lancet has shown that plant-sourced ultra-processed foods were associated with increased cardiovascular risk, contradicting the assumption that plant equals protective. The processing matters more than the source. For people choosing plant-based meals for health reasons, this is a critical gap between expectation and reality. The label says plant-based, the contents say factory-made. And if you think spending more money solves the problem, the premium category will dismantle that belief entirely. 4. Premium label ready meals. The black trays, the gold lettering, the words finest, luxury, and chef-inspired printed across elegant packaging. These meals cost twice as much as standard options, positioned as the sophisticated choice for discerning shoppers. Surely you think the extra money buys better ingredients. It does not. Analysis of UK supermarket ready meals found that premium ranges consistently scored worse for fat, saturated fat, and salt than standard or even economy options. The luxury label buys you richer sauces, not better nutrition. You are paying for indulgence marketing, not ingredient quality. The deception is particularly effective because the packaging signals quality so convincingly. Dark colours suggest sophistication. Recipe descriptions mention slow cooking, hand finishing, and culinary heritage. But the production remains industrial. The additives remain present. The nutritional profile remains problematic. Price creates a psychological shield. Consumers assume that if something costs more, it must be better. Manufacturers exploit this assumption by investing in packaging, photography, and branding rather than ingredient improvements. The margin increase goes to marketing, not to sourcing superior meat, vegetables, or dairy. A study comparing premium meals to their standard equivalents found little meaningful nutritional improvement, despite significant price differences. In some cases, the premium version contained more saturated fat and sodium, because richness was part of the luxury positioning. This is storytelling, not cooking. The premium ready meal sells an experience of quality that the contents do not deliver. And if premium disappoints, the diet aisle takes the deception even further, because nowhere is marketing louder than in the diet aisle. 3. Slimming and diet range meals. These meals are built around a single number, calories. Everything else becomes secondary. Protein, fiber, micronutrients, satisfaction, all sacrificed on the altar of keeping that calorie count low enough to print boldly on the front of the pack. The methods used to achieve those numbers should concern anyone eating these products regularly. Portion sizes shrink dramatically. Water content increases to add volume without calories. Sweeteners replace sugar, creating products that taste sweet without the energy, but potentially disrupting appetite signaling. Salt remains stubbornly high, even in diet ranges. Action on Salt found that meals marketed as healthier options often matched or exceeded standard products for sodium content. The calorie number drops, but the cardiovascular risk does not. Protein content is frequently inadequate. Many diet meals provide barely enough protein to qualify as a snack, leaving consumers unsatisfied and more likely to eat again sooner than planned. The calorie restriction works against itself when the meal cannot sustain you between eating occasions, and the ultra-processed nature remains unchanged. These are still factory meals built on refined ingredients, emulsifiers, and flavor systems. The diet label does not indicate whole food cooking. It indicates portion control applied to industrial products. Research comparing low energy density eating to calorie counting found that satisfaction and long-term success came from food quality, not restriction. Diet-ready meals offer restriction without quality, the worst possible combination for sustainable health. If diet meals disappoint, the meat feast category reveals how far visual deception can go. 2. Meat feast and mixed grill. Ready meals. These meals promise abundance. The packaging shows glistening sausages, carved slices of beef, golden chicken portions, and bacon piled high. The names evoke pub classics and hearty British eating. What arrives in the tray is something far less substantial. The meat in these products is overwhelmingly restructured. Pieces pressed together from offcuts, chicken injected with brine to increase weight, sausages made from mechanically separated meat bound with rusk and fat. The visual abundance is created through careful arrangement and photography, not through generous portioning of quality cuts. Smoke flavouring does heavy lifting. Rather than actual grilling or smoking, these products rely on liquid smoke additives to create the impression of flame cooking. The char marks are often cosmetic, applied through processing rather than heat. Salt and fat content is predictably extreme. These are designed to taste indulgent, and the cheapest way to achieve indulgence is through sodium and saturated fat. A single mixed grill tray can deliver your entire daily salt allowance while providing minimal nutritional benefit beyond calories. The FSA sampling program consistently finds meat products among the highest categories for compositional non-compliance. What the label promises and what the tray contains are frequently different. The beef content is lower than declared. The chicken has been bulked with water. The sausages contain more filler than meat. This is the illusion of feasting. And if meat feast meals represent manufactured abundance, the final category represents manufactured food at its most extreme. 1. Ultra-cheap microwave meals. The bottom shelf. The meals priced under £2. The products that exist because someone calculated exactly how cheaply food-shaped objects can be manufactured and still legally call themselves dinner. This is where everything converges into its purest form. These meals are not designed to nourish. They are designed to survive. Survive transport from factory to distribution centre, to shelf to home. Survive months of storage. Survive 3 minutes in a microwave and still hold a shape resembling food. Every ingredient decision serves logistics, not nutrition. The salt content is extreme because salt is cheap and extends shelf life. The fat is low quality because quality fats cost more. The protein is minimal and often reformed or injected. The vegetables are token gestures, adding colour without substance. The carbohydrates are refined and bulked with starch because starch is inexpensive and filling. One analysis found that economy meals represented the highest concentration of additives per portion: emulsifiers, stabilizers, thickeners, flavor enhancers, preservatives. These are not ingredients, they are technological interventions that allow something to remain shelf-stable while technically meeting the legal definition of food. The people who rely on these meals most heavily are often those who can least afford the health consequences. Budget constraints drive purchasing decisions. The industry responds not by making nutritious food affordable, but by making cheap food edible enough to sell. This is the endpoint of industrial food production. Products engineered for price point and durability, marketed as meals, sold to people who deserve better. The ready meal aisle is not what it appears to be, but now you know.